Ross Coulthart may have just dropped a game-changing interview. So, cast your minds back to January 20th, 1996. I can't because I wasn't born, but maybe you can. Apparently, 3 teenage girls in Brazil lock eyes with a 4-foot creature that begs for help telepathically. Hours later, military police capture it alive, and a neurosurgeon touches it and says it controlled the room like an angel. For 29 years, the world called it a hoax until right now. And this may be the biggest update in UFO history, and it is dropping this year. Quite a significant kind of thing to be talking about, isn't it? But this all comes from Ross Coulthart's latest News Nation episode. World-changing confession. Doctor describes studying live alien reality check. Big deal. Big deal. So let's talk about this, because obviously this could be like he says, world-changing. Truly it could be, if this is true and can be proven. That is the key points there, ladies and gentlemen. Can it be proven? Because obviously it's all well and good us sitting here and saying this is world-changing, but can it be proven? Anyway, let's talk about it. So, January 13th, 1996 at approximately 6 a.m. History professor and ultra-light pilot Carlos de Souza is flying near Virginia when he spots a cigar-shaped craft the size of a school bus. Aluminium, no wings, gash on the side, leaking white vapor, and it's apparently losing altitude fast. He follows it to a farm 10 miles outside of town, and when he arrives, the smell hits like battery acid and sulfur. His eyes water, and he finds half the craft intact, debris scattered all over a football field-sized area, one piece, light as styrofoam. He crumbles it. It reforms like memory metal, right? Sound familiar? This sounds exactly like Roswell, but it's just 2.0. Then apparently, military trucks scream in, not from the city, but from opposite directions, right? And the ESA military base. Rifles out, leave now, or we shoot, is what he is told. And Carlos hands over the metal and drives away. Nobody's seen, but the intact half is big enough for crew. Okay, this is all quotes directly from the source. Now, fast forward a week, okay? 1 week. There are apparently brand new witnesses. 2 farmers see the same cigar-shaped craft at 2 a.m. making a dying whale sound, apparently, with vapor pouring out. It lands on the farm before limping to its final crash. But here's the twist. The craft people see over Virginia later that day is a different one. This isn't a cigar shape, apparently it's a disc. Slow, methodical, grid searching for the city for hours. Witnesses say, quote, it was looking for something. And then James Fox's team now believes this was an alleged rescue mission. So that's obviously quite significant as well, okay? Because they believe now that this is a rescue mission from a different craft with regards to something that's, been seen. Now, 3 p.m., right, that same day, the blazing summer heat is piercing down apparently, and sisters Liliana, who's 14, and Valkyra, who is 16, and Katia, who is 22, take a shortcut through a construction zone, and they see graffiti on a wall, then something slouched against it. At first, they initially thought it was some kind of statue, but then its head turned. 4 or 5 feet tall, oily brown skin, no hair, 3 bumps on its head, and big, piercing red eyes. Apparently, it locked eyes with Katia, and telepathically, it told her, "Help me, I'm scared." The younger girls scream and bolt, and Katia is absolutely frozen. Liliana runs back, yanks her sister away, and apparently there was a piercing smell, which apparently was like ammonia so strong that it burnt their noses for hours. That is a quote directly from them, by the way. And they worked with the artist to create this, the official Virginia alien, still unchanged 29 years later. Okay. Now, 2 hours later, 2 blocks away, military police Marco Eli Cereze and Eric Lopez get an APB, capture something unusual alive. They spot it darting across the road. Cereze apparently jumps out, grabs it, no fight. It's apparently very, very weak, and he gets a scratch under his arm with some oily residue. They try a small clinic, the doctor says, not my problem, and then the hospital regional staff take it into the back entrance, and then even a plaque outside today, here an ET arrived, right? So that's genuinely at that hospital. Now, this is where things get absolutely insane because the creature, of course, is injured and swelling, right? Lead neurosurgeon, Dr. Italo Venturelli, do apologise, and his protege, Dr. Marcos Vinicius, treat it. Now, Dr. Italo spends 4 minutes alone with it. He apparently touched it and it speaks, apparently, without words. And apparently, this thing telepathically told him, it's okay, I'm calm. Now, he says a higher intelligence like an angel, it controlled the room, even in captivity. Quite significant right there. But then things take a significant turn, allegedly, as the military bust in, seize the being, and threatens everyone, quote, stating, "You saw nothing." Dr. Vinicius died of a heart attack in 2018. Dr. Italo nearly died months ago, and they stared at the ceiling in the ICU and thought, I can't take this to my grave. So he risked his job to talk to James Fox and got kicked out mid-interview, but not before dropping the bombshell, apparently, right? So now let's go back to let's kind of wind the dial back a little bit. So do you remember when I said Officer Cereze's scratch, right? Apparently it festers and abscesses. So doctors throw apparently everything at it and nothing seems to be able to treat it. And doctors, like I say, tried everything that they possibly could. And he dies weeks later. The autopsy? Well, Dr. Janani, the founder of the IPD lab, says, I've done thousands of biopsies. This bacteria, never before, never since, it evolved. Resilient alien. Those were her exact words. Both pathologists, went on camera for the first time in 2025. Pretty nuts stuff right there. Now, let's count. We've got a cigar crash with possible crew, with none seen. Girl's creature, which was alive and telepathic. The captured by the police, the same as number 2 or number 3. And then the former chief of police, Pedro Awar, who's in a 2025 interview, says, I saw one under a tarp, deceased, heard rumours of 3. And then the Humanities Hospital, per Dr. Roger Lyer tapes, anything being with telepathic contact. Obviously, this is all kind of building a bit of a picture, right, about this interview that Ross Coulthart has done. And if you want the full breakdown, obviously you need to go over to Ross Coulthart's YouTube channel to check it out. But we've essentially got here a narrative being portrayed that's going to come out in James Fox's documentary about, okay, an ET craft crashing, an ET telepathically injured but being able to communicate telepathically with 3 girls. Then the same ET being taken into a hospital, right? It allegedly controlling the room, scratching someone who then later mysteriously dies and the biopsy is just completely all over the place. And we've got another craft, which is a disc shape, seemingly doing grid patterns across a city, almost trying to do a recovery or rescue mission. What the actual F is going on here? What on earth is going on? This is actually mental stuff. Like, truly, you need to go over and check out Ross Coulthart's latest episode, right? Because you're going to want to hear this because it's going to be coming out, obviously. There's going to be a lot of this talked about in James Fox's Moment of Contact that drops later in 2025. That's coming out on Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and more, apparently. But apparently within that, he's also going to have a full interview with Dr. Italo, new crash witnesses apparently, autopsy doctors on camera for the first time, and maps, plaques, and never before seen footage. Obviously, once again, the Moment of Contact documentary doing the rounds, but my lord, this is going to be groundbreaking. What do you guys think of this? Let me know your thoughts and opinions, of course, down in the comments below. While you're down there, jump scare the hell out of that like button and subscribe. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.